I'm Andy Davis from DisplayLink. We're at Interop ITX 2018, and here at DisplayLink today we're showing a number of new areas. To my right, James, my colleague, is actually in a VR environment, and the great thing about VR here is that we've completely cut all the cords, or as we say, hashtag sever the tether. Now, you can't truly be immersed in VR if you've got a cable that's connecting you. You feel that you may always pull it over, and it's really quite problematic when you're investing a lot of money in this kind of kit. What James is doing here is he's actually inside an enterprise environment that can be used for training. So you'll see he's in a medical environment here. We can have multiple users in this environment all interacting with one another. The great thing here, of course, being untethered, is how we've made this happen. So DisplayLink's technology is actually embedded in the headset that's on the top of James's head. This is connected to a standard Vive. The standard Vive today will run with no problems at all, and we have connections to make that happen. But in actual fact, we've just partnered with HTC to also make not only the Vive 1, which is shown here, but also the Vive Pro. To my right behind us then, what we've also got is 8 4K displays connected over a single USB cable. Now, that might be a little bit mind-blowing to a few people, so let me explain how that happens. We've built a docking chip technology. This is our DisplayLink DL6950 chip, and it's embedded inside those docking stations at the back there. And what we've done is we've just daisy-chained them together. So from the host laptop, which is a little baby XPS, we're coming out of that. That's actually a Type-C laptop, but in actual fact, a Type-C, Type-A, any standard USB connection will just work. So this makes it truly universal. So what that's done is that's actually driving the first 2 4K displays. Then we've daisy-chained a second one over Type-A. That's getting a further 2 4K displays. Then a third and a fourth. So what you're seeing there is 8 times 4K, all running at P60. So this over standard USB is going much further than even Thunderbolt technology can do today with 40 gigabits per second over a 5 gigabit per second link. Now you may be asking yourselves, how's that even possible? Well, that's possible because of DisplayLink's compression technology. We've built a very unique, very proprietary compression technology which can dynamically adjust as people move in and out of what they're using and how they're operating the PC. So if you were to plug in a hard disk drive, for example, we would maximize the bandwidth that's available to that hard drive so that you get the fastest throughput, and then the video goes back and works. Now, how is that seen by the user? Is anything noticeable at all? Is there any artifacts? Absolutely not. We do this in a very, very custom way so that you don't see any kind of lag or impact at all. That in the VR environment is super critical because in VR, it's like looking through a window. As you look around, you're seeing much more data. And of course, as you're moving around, you're rendering much more of the environment. So we've applied that same compression, but effectively kind of on steroids here for VR. So what you're seeing in the VR environment here is, as James moves, there's 2 antennas on his head. The antenna link to the host there is bouncing between the 2, and it's taking the best signal feed that it possibly can. We're running 60 gigahertz WiGig spectrum. That's an in-room technology. It's not going to fall foul of any other interferences, which is ideal for this environment and great for business. It doesn't run in the Wi-Fi regimes. That really just doesn't work in this environment. But that 60 gigahertz connection is actually giving that fantastic rendered capability for a totally immersive experience here. So this is DisplayLink's technology. We're running the 8000 series chipset on VR, our latest 6000 series chipsets for enterprise connectivity solutions. And then at the far right, we've also got a solution for hot desking. And the hot desking solution here is truly enabling anybody with a BYOD setup to effectively walk into an office and connect anything from a Windows 7 machine, Windows 10, Ubuntu Linux, Mac OS, Chrome OS, and just have a laptop and connect that down. Now this particular product that we're showing here is from a company based out of New York called Humascale, the world leader in ergonomic solutions. What they've done is they've integrated DisplayLink solution into a docking stand solution. It's a very, very clean desktop setup. Under the desk, you've got all the connectivity solutions that IT would use, and above the desk, you've got those transient ports that a user needs to utilize. Anybody can walk up and use this. Great for infrastructure rollouts and deployments. Again, using our 6000 series chipset, and again, dual 4K. There's so many different applicational usages for this. One we're showing here right now is actually medical. Great deployment for this is in university environment, for example. So what you can actually have now is, in terms of learning machinery, in terms of learning how to interact with hardware, or even virtual operations, that can now be taken to a new level where people can be immersed in a virtual world environment and physically be looking at how to operate, how to restitch things, how to change organ management, replacement. Basically, if you can imagine it now within the VR world, you can really do it with VR. And again, the fantastic thing is, with not having any cables, it allows you to be totally immersed. So to show how this actually works between the hand controllers and the headset, we're actually connected with a number of sensors here, so that as James moves around, the visible position of where he is tracked, but also the hand movements are fully tracked. So James now, with his hand here, you can see as he moves around, he has a trigger. That trigger is enabling him to interact with devices in this virtual world. So the seat that's moving around, this is not ghosts or anything strange like that. This is actually James picking that seat up with a laser, virtually moving it around to organize the environment that he's in. And he can do that simply by pulling the trigger on the handset. Now we've got a number of trigger points that can happen, how you can interact and how you control the environment, including how you can teleport to a different area. So James, if we teleport you forward a little bit, that little blue line that came out there enables him to show how he would teleport. So by clicking now the middle button, he can move in this virtual world. So if you now move forward, James, now he's moved to that new environment space. Very, very easy to interact with. And of course, with zero latency here, there's no worry about people getting any kind of motion concern or motion sickness or any strange environment. The interaction that you're seeing with how that's responding in James's head and James's brain is just like the real world environment. So very, very easy to use.